Imagine waking up in a world where World War II ended, but not with the Allied victory we know. Instead, the Axis powers, Nazi Germany, Imperial Japan, and Fascist Italy, emerged victorious. What would that world look like? How would daily life, borders, culture, and technology have evolved under the iron grip of totalitarian control? To begin, let's start with the map. After a hypothetical Axis victory, the globe would be carved up into colossal empires. Nazi Germany would control most, if not all, of Europe. The United Kingdom might be under German occupation, with Winston Churchill likely imprisoned or executed. The United States? If not conquered outright, it would be isolated, possibly split, with Japan holding the West Coast, as imagined in dystopias like The Man in the High Castle. The Soviet Union? Likely dismantled, with Eastern Europe turned into a Nazi slave state. Culturally and politically, the consequences would be chilling. Nazi ideology, with its obsession with racial purity, would be global policy. Mass surveillance, brutal authoritarianism, and genocide wouldn't be buried chapters in history. They'd be daily reality. Education would be rewritten to glorify fascism. Language, art, and even science would be filtered through strict ideological lenses. Books would be burned. Dissent would mean death. In Japan's sphere, a similar pattern would emerge. Asia and the Pacific would fall under Japanese imperial rule, marked by forced assimilation, cultural erasure, and brutal labor camps. Chinese resistance would be crushed. Korea would be absorbed fully. Australia could become a puppet state, or a battleground for control. But what about technology? Here, things get complicated. Under Nazi rule, rocket science might accelerate, given how close Germany already was to developing long-range missiles. But their progress would be hindered by dogma, racial purges, and rejection of unapproved science. Jewish scientists like Albert Einstein and countless other innovators who fled to the West would never have contributed to modern physics, nuclear energy, or space exploration. It's possible the world would remain stuck in a warped 1950s loop, technologically advanced in warfare, but stagnant in freedom and innovation. Meanwhile, the Cold War as we know it wouldn't exist. Instead, we'd likely see a cold world, one locked in fear, silence, and absolute control. Without democratic superpowers to counterbalance tyranny, human rights might never evolve. The internet, civil rights, global cooperation, all of that could be lost. However, this future, as terrifying as it sounds, was once closer to reality than many realize. If D-Day had failed, if the US had stayed isolated, or if Hitler had taken Moscow in 1941, history could have tilted toward fascism. The war was a razor's edge, and the world we know today was never guaranteed. This alternate timeline serves as a reminder of the fragility of democracy and the price of freedom. It's not just a dystopian what if, it's a lesson in how close we came to living under a world ruled by fear, hate, and silence. So the next time you read about World War II, don't just see it as a closed chapter. Remember that the story could have ended very differently. And the world we live in today is the result of millions who chose resistance over submission.